Well, okay, so let's just break into it, right?
I like breaking into things.
I don't do that.
Oh.
Let's start, I always like to have a market discussion, right? Let's talk about the market. I want to back up though, because it's going to lead into what I really want to ask you. So at lunch, you were telling us about your first house that you and Jen bought.
It was a little $60,000 home in East Dallas, actually Lakewood Heights.
Yeah.
So, and now granted, this was 25 years ago. It was the best thing we ever did because that little $60,000 home sold it a little bit less than 2 years later for $180,000.
Okay.
And that's what obviously allowed us to go into do other things in real estate.
So what is the value of that property today?
That house at 180 was, several years later was scraped. They built one home, it got scraped. They built another bigger home. And they're probably a $1.5 million house sitting on that piece of lot right now.
Don't you wish you still had it?
Well, no, because it's what it did for us. It allowed us to live in 12 homes over the last 25 years. It allowed me to launch a business. It got us into rental properties. So, you could say, wow, that little $60,000 could be worth 1.5, but I've made more than that just off that little $60,000 house because of buys and sells and investments. And so I think it did what it was supposed to do.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was a little bit of a late bloomer. So I bought my first house in Rowlett in 2011.
2011, okay.
Yeah. That was the first time I'm single. I didn't want to mess with, I was like, a house, I don't want to mess with that. Yard and all that. Jeez. So anyway, I bought my first house. I still own it today.
Okay.
I haven't sold it yet. And I bought it for $126,000.
Yeah.
And it's over 300 now.
Yeah.
But obviously the market's gone. There's not a word for it. Not insane, crazy, whatever you want to assign.
You still have the house?
I do.
Very nice.
I do. It's a rental. I never intended to sell any of my houses. I sold one, but the rest of them my company's rental. I keep trying to build that passive income portfolio, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit challenged in this market.
I talk to clients where they go in and they'll buy a house, they'll live in it for a year, and then they turn it into a rental.